This is Sudowrite 301, and this course is for people who are struggling to control the AI, get the results you want. What we're going to work on tonight is how to get better results. And I quibble over the second point, get the best possible results. I'm not guaranteeing that. And what will give you great results tonight may not give you great results next week, because the AI is changing so fast, and every time it changes, everything else changes. We are on the bleeding edge. We are the pioneers here. The more we mess with it and get it where we can get it to do our bidding, the more advantage we have. And that's what I hope you all have been using it. I hope you have been trying out running into things, and I hope you've brought your questions tonight, because that's really what we want to do. We want to help you get the best results from your work. And Don started out, so we've done some work with his, and we may play with some of his some more. And I'll be glad to do that with the rest of it. And then I hate Google slideshow. About here we go. See, it doesn't go, it goes 3-4 times. This course is structured the way they've all been structured. We have the introduction, greetings, demonstration, and Q&A. Tonight, I hope it's going to be Q&A, demonstration, trial, whatever, another question, and working through it. We're in this together, and we will figure it out together. I lost my controls. There we go. You may have to look at that screen all night, unfortunately. Start off. Does anybody have a question? What problems have you run into?
Oh, pick me.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Somebody explain the hype on the right button, because I cannot for the life of me get that thing to cooperate. It goes off the rails. It doesn't listen to style. What am I doing wrong?
Probably nothing. The right button is for, let me find our project here. What you may want to do is you may want to use, have you been using any of the guided right?
So I've tried guided right a couple of times, not nearly as much as I should. And I've tried the auto write with key details, and I've put like a beat into key details. And then I've tried, when you're stuck on a transition, this scene and this scene, but stitching them together. So I've tried transition smoothly from the paragraph above to the paragraph below. I've got the creativity set on the first notch.
So you've got it all the way to the left?
All the way to the left +1. So it's on the second notch. We'll call it the second notch.
Okay.
And I've got it on Claude Opus. So I have tried Sonnet and Haiku.
Yeah.
And Best Prose.
Claude, all of those are Claude, and Claude tends to be more creative than the other ones. What you might want to do is you might want to try one of the chat GPTs. And Don pointed out, I had forgot that it doesn't say balanced when you're choosing the prose model under the right settings. It says GPT-4 Turbo, and GPT-4 Turbo is balanced.
And maybe give that one a spin instead.
You might try it and see if it's more what you want.
Otherwise, maybe put the creativity at the bottom versus one of the Claudes.
Yeah, I'd try it with one of the GPTs where you have it. And then the best way to truly control it is with guided.
Do you have
screen
all
again?
Bible information connected, Stacy? Do you have your outlines, that chapter linked and everything?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah, I've
important.
got
It
the
reads the
chapter
story
linked,
Bible.
all story Bibles filled out, and I have tried it, although I know for those of us in the character beta, I know that the right button isn't attached or doesn't read the new character card. So I do have stuff in the old character box.
I thought I think they updated it. They found a glitch where the Claude models weren't reading, but I think they either just rolled out a fix or they are working on that fix now. It was posted about today.
Maybe that was the drama, that I was using auto write during that problem stage.
Maybe it was.
That's entirely possible.
But it was just
But
yesterday and today that people have mentioned it. So,
Well, in that
were you
case,
having the
I'll
problem
try
yesterday?
again. It's just been on my mind.
Yeah, getting the chapters to flow smoothly is tricky.
Mhm.
And that's something I struggle with. Let me go back home and I will show you. I just hate it since they've changed all these projects around. I think I have a couple here. Let me go into chapter 3 and see. No, I didn't do it here. But sometimes up here, I use the last chapter ended with, and I give it like the last paragraph or two of the last chapter heading into the beat so it can pick up from there and be a little bit more graceful.
Yeah, I
Then-
love John's recap plugin,
Mhm.
and then using that as in those little brackets, a previously, makes a world of difference.
It does. It does. Because that's the one thing about Sudowrite is with its silos. One chapter doesn't see the other chapter. Sometimes that can be beneficial if you want to run the same chapter with multiple models and see what happens. Or if you're trying to generate a cohesive story, then it can be frustrating. Experiment, and if let us know whether it's working better now or not.
I will absolutely do that.
Okay. Have any more advice, Nicole? I know you're the right fan.
No, I just booked my sorry, I can't talk. I just booked to teach my 3 sessions that's going to start like the last day of this month and kick off next month. And I plan to, in the 101, set up Story Bible, and then in the 201 and 301, depending on how long they take, I was actually going to demonstrate writing in a single silo inside Story Bible, and then versus writing in Write in a single document. So maybe by then, you want to attend that class if you're still interested in trying to play with Write. Yeah,
For
I
sure.
love it. To me, it's especially great for those people that want to sit there and write out the scene. They know part of what they want to happen, then they just need the AI's help and then go right back to writing it.
Yeah. And I've been doing that a lot with this particular work. I'll probably not be able to find where I did it, but it would finish and I told it to finish on a cliffhanger and it would, but then it wouldn't pick up the cliffhanger. So I would end it wherever it ended. The 12, probably have 14 in here. Yeah. 15.
I will say too, for your transition scene you were trying to do, when I do a transition scene in the key details, I put a sentence, something along the lines of, this just happened. This is where the characters are or what they're doing right now. And then a third sentence for this is what I need to happen. Obviously word it correctly for the AI, but it's typically those 3 types of sentences in the key details. And it usually does a pretty darn good job of doing a transition. And I just need to refine it a little bit and smooth things out.
This just happened. Say that again.
Yeah. So this just happened. I'll give you the instance from my werewolf thing. When I needed to do the transition scene when I was experimenting and discovered it, it was Jackson and Kieran have been in the cave taking care of Aurelia after her nearly dying. They now need to leave the cave and go back to the village. And they are getting ready to leave. Or, yeah, just 3 sentences. What happened? Or 2 at least. What happened? What do you need to happen? And then if you can insert what's going on right now, that can help. But definitely, what happened? What do you need to happen?
Excellent. I put it on a sticky note.
The purple is where I used right after the chapter generator stopped. And I have several different versions. One thing I've noticed, and I think it was with this one, and this has been maybe a month ago, so things may have changed. But the first one really wasn't very good, and it was more telling. And then the second one really got into the emotions of the characters. And so it was like the second choice, the second card was always the best for some reason. But I just would keep going and going with the right. Here's some of it. I typed that in. And so I continued quite a ways past what the chapter generator had given me. Oh, and Brandon, to answer your questions, after the character's first introduced, the question is, how do you keep it from getting the same descriptor language of a character over and over? After it's first introduced, you need to go back to the character box and get rid of those piercing eyes. Because if you don't, every time the character's mentioned, we'll talk about his piercing whatever colored eyes. Leave your strong physical descriptors in there until we have introduced the character. And then after that, cut them way, way down so that they don't keep popping up again and again. Okay. The Megarite plugin is a plugin, and I haven't really used it. Did you, John? Did you watch? You were there at John's Croissant's class on it.
I was there. I love the Megarite plugins.
Oh, good.
It took me a while to get around to using them because they say they write so much and that felt kind of daunting.
Oh,
But I was in your situation. I had credits to blow through, so I just went for it. And oh my gosh, it was good.
oh, that's a good idea. I'll use it tonight.
I would. I absolutely would. And if you're liking Opus, go for that. It'll spend a lot of credit.
It will. Yeah, I think it works a lot like Right. But
I found it, of course, I was struggling with Right, which we now know, but I found it to be a lot better than it was really listening to the different headers I've got and the style box. It just did such a great job.
John, you might like it better too. Try it. Let us know what you think about it. What other problems have you run up against lately? Besides the loading problem, I think they fixed that, but I'm not sure. I haven't run into it today. I did the other day when everybody else was having trouble with it. Come on, guys. You've got to want to see something. You've got to have some questions, right? John, that's what we were going to do when we run out of the questions here, and then we'll take a look at the new characters and the new world building. If Nicole will help me, because I haven't done anything with the world building. I've done very little with the character.
Now that we've got the characters and world building boxes, I don't know that I'll ever be able to go back. I love
I'm
them
not
so
sure about that.
much. No, I'm sure. I love them so much. I write a
Okay.
lot of fantasy and sci-fi, so it's very world building heavy
Yes.
and often reverse harem. So with all of those
Mhm.
characters, that tiny little character box, no,
Oh,
impossible.
yeah, you can't do that, no.
Wait, no, immediately no.
And I think it will be good for series too. Of course, you'll have to
Yes,
duplicate your project or something to get it or copy it into a different one so you
yeah, and
still
then
have the same world building.
delete all the documents.
Yeah.
Worth it.
You might want to make a template for your series with your characters and your world building. And then,
That's a fantastic idea. I love the idea of a template because I pretty much only write series at this point.
I
So
firmly
Explain
believe in
temp-
templates anytime you can.
So
What
the
do you mean
thing,
template?
I
the
mean,
thing,
have a project that's my SAR series. And in that project, it would have the genre and the style, it would have the characters, it would have the world building, and that would be it. And so when I wanted
Oh,
to start a new book with that, I would bring those over, rename it to whatever the new book is, and then put the
right.
details about that book in.
That's brilliant.
so
Yes, I will be doing that.
what John and I were talking about the other day too is when I asked them for a copy button for the characters too, because of
Oh
course
gosh, yes, please.
when you do your series, you want the ending character descriptions, right?
Mhm.
But by the
Yes.
time you're at the end of book one, you have all of these other documents. So if you duplicate, you get all those documents. So once I got my characters fleshed out for that first book, I just started duplicating that. So it's ready for the next book. And then, of course, I adjust the character descriptions for each book. So at least I don't have to go through, delete a whole bunch of documents.
Yeah.
And some of us have created templates just for mine's just called folder template project. So I have my folder with all my plotting stuff, my folder for all my characters, settings, just that basic thing. So there's no specific characters, no specific story associated with it, but yet it has all my folders and documents organized that I know I'm going to use. So I can just duplicate that for each project to at least not have to, for every single project, make all these folders and everything. So it might be something else I want to do.
I know we were talking about doing a class, an author hour, or a round table or something where different people would talk about how they're using folders. Did that ever get anywhere?
I don't know. I know we're doing the teacher roundtable, but that's just for the teachers and staff for next week. But
Oh,
I don't know if we'll
okay.
discuss it then or if that'll be
Maybe
a whole
that's
nother
what we were doing,
folder.
but yeah. Huh. Because I think that would be beneficial because I'm sure everybody uses them differently, and I have not used folders at all. So I have several ideas about how I'm going to use them, but I haven't set up any yet.
I've
I've been
only
working
used
on it.
folders to keep my voice generations separate.
Oh, that's a good idea.
They really helped me for my series overview because, like most of y'all know that y'all have done classes with me, I like to do one project that's my entire series and overviews all my books. So it helps me because I can have that folder with, okay, but this is all the info for book one in this folder. Yet at the same time, it's still the overviews there in that one project. So it just helps organize things a little bit better for me.
Yeah.
And
And I
then I
know
got,
Marigold keeps her prompt things in her prompts in documents, and so folders I think would be a good use for that.
oh yeah, I had that whole project with all my prompts too. Makes it easy to copy. And something I was thinking about for those who like to generate multiple chapters, you'd have your folder with your final versions and then a folder for each chapter. So here's all your chapter ones in this folder. Then whenever you go through, finally do all your edits and you have, okay, this is the
Mhm.
final one, stick it in that final. So when you export,
Yes,
these are all the final ones right here.
right. Exactly. This is the one I want to keep. Because if you generate as many as I do, you really get lost in. As you probably saw on that project I had up. Any other things that are bothering you and fighting with? Okay, when you use chat or quick edit, it goes through the temp document, right? It goes through the document that you have open. You have to be in a document in order to do the chat. I don't think it looks outside of that for anything in folders.
I will link what quick edit and quick chat look at. Quick edit looks at your highlighted text, proceedings, synopsis, characters that match, genre style. Quick chat looks at your documents in the project that have seemingly relevant contents, highlighted text, characters, and genre.
Oh, so they've expanded it now. That's good. But that doesn't answer the question about folders, so I'm not sure.
It should, if it's looking at
Yeah.
all of your, doing a search
Yeah.
for all the documents, I don't see folders messing with it.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
good question to watch out for in case we notice something.
Yeah.
I can answer that.
Oh,
I
okay.
talked with chat. Sorry, I zoned out for a minute because I was catching up with the chat. But I asked chat a question, I don't know, yesterday. And it showed that it was looking in one of the My Voice iterations that I have in a folder. So it does look at them.
That is good to know. And be handy.
So, John, stuff like that you're talking about, that has been brought up by a couple of other people. They wanted to be able to control more of where it looks, so it would avoid those documents they don't want it looking at. So that might be a possible future update.
Yeah, we've been talking about toggling stuff on and off so that we can tell it when to use something and when not to use something.
I love toggles, but I understand Ryan's comment
Right.
about the more toggles you have, the more new people have to ask the question of, but what does it do?
Sudowrite is already really top heavy with stuff.
It is.
But I love stuff.
It's great if you know how to use it, but like they said, the learning curve to figuring out best practices is really steep.
It's
No,
definitely.
yeah, I will say, sorry, Nicole, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I will say it took me a solid 3 weeks and I'm a full-time author, so I was at my desk 8-10 hours a day. It took me a solid 3 weeks to really feel like I was getting the hang of it.
Did it faster than I did.
That's why we say your first couple of months are just, an investment in learning the tool.
And I really think everybody using Sudowrite now and actually taking the time to attend classes, trying to stay up to date, they're of course going to be in a better position because they've mastered the previous, or quote unquote mastered the previous stuff. So the updates aren't that big of a deal. But yeah, newcomers coming in, I can definitely see it being overwhelming. Thankfully, they offer classes. People just got to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
I will say though, I watched almost the entirety of Nicole's YouTube backlist.
Good.
And then went through and watched so many of the course videos, and that was massively helpful.
Yes, that really does. And yeah, I don't think this person is in here tonight, but for what you said, William, the 101 class that I did on, what was it, Monday? I got a 1-star review because he said we were 24 minutes in and we hadn't started writing yet. You're not going to be writing in your first 24 minutes.
Yeah, we call them drop-by 1-stars. They're just people who on books.
That one didn't bother me.
They never bother me because,
yeah, I don't. If you're a writer, you have to have pretty thick skin anyway.
You do.
Oh, Miss Lynn, I don't think I made my confession to you.
What?
Y'all heard that tone? What did you do?
You've been reading your reviews again.
God damn it. So y'all, Miss Lynn knows me, y'all. I take things to heart in these classes and stuff. I mean, if anybody's unhappy with my class, I feel like I let somebody down, right? Miss Lynn's always on me, don't read your reviews. And whenever I started publishing consistent, she's do not read those book reviews. And I'm only mentioning this because one of the questions we always see in Discord is, what are readers going to think about me using AI? And we're like, just do the best you can, right? You can't control what they think. I got a 1-star. I read my reviews. I got a 1-star on my Sudowrite book. I'm like, okay, what didn't they like about it?
Sudowrite book.
Yeah. They're like, this reads like super Sudowrite marketing material, and this is basic functionality. I'm like, well, it's basic because I've been teaching it for the past year now. So, but they went into, and this is clearly just AI generated. You can tell because of the love of lists and bullet points. I'm like, I had to format it, y'all. So my point is, this book was actually the one I didn't use AI on. I think I used it for my introduction chapter. That's it. It was me sitting down, literally, okay, this is what I know about this, and this is how I do it, and just trying to order. That's what I did with that book. The least AI used or assisted book. And I was told it was
Wait, you're talking about your AI and the author series?
Mhm. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. But he was like, no, this is AI garbage. And I'm like, oh, what is that? Okay, so clearly I'm just garbage. I don't know at this point. I'm
No,
just,
I've listened, like I've watched so many of your YouTube videos, both Nicole, yours and Lynn's, and it's been extremely helpful for me. And I actually have some of your different AI books, Nicole, that, on my Kindle that have been helpful in that sense. And I think it just depends on the audience. Some people are going to like things and some people won't. And that's just the way it is. But I mean,
exactly.
to me, they're beneficial.
Some
They're
people are just miserable. They're just
They are. They are. But I get
I
a
was
kick
just
out
about
of
to say that.
in the
Some people are just
anti-AI
naturally
groups.
grumpy.
People
there are some that
say
are naturally grumpy.
this is so badly written. It had to be written by AI. I was like, AI would have written it better.
There definitely would have been more togetherness
So I'm
and
just saying that
piercing blue eyes.
maybe I should have put some blue eyes in there. I have blue eyes.
There you go. That's what it's missing, Nicole. You don't have any piercing blue eyes in any of the AI and the author books.
Yep, it was the blue eye.
Honestly. No wonder
Oh,
you
yeah.
got a 1-star. It's
So when y'all write, I just want y'all to just forget that do your best you can. Because no matter what, obviously somebody's going to find the fault, just like
Yeah.
they said. I just said so.
You're not going to please everybody, and it's the disgruntled people who are going to leave the reviews. So if you like a book, leave a good review. Do the author a favor. But you do have to develop a thick skin. What is the red pen plugin? Somebody said they thought that was harsh. If you think that is harsh, you're going to hate it when a human editor goes over your stuff, and you're really going to hate it when the readers review it.
I got
You
edited
just got to
by-
get used to it.
I got edited by a guy who was a tenured college professor.
Oh, dear.
He writes science fiction very successfully
Oh, okay.
for a traditional publisher. And he's won the Peabody Award. He's won all these awards. And there probably wasn't a paragraph in the book I sent him in his universe that didn't have yellow lines and zero marks out the side. And he's a friend of mine. I told him afterward, I said, I almost quit writing because he goes, no, you're just not used to being edited at that level. But I
No.
mean, God almighty. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you don't get a page back and it's all red, you're just, that's
You're
not
not
a
trying.
useful edit. But actually seeing a manuscript, a page, a chapter edited by a good editor, seeing those remarks, that's the best writing class you can take, because you can learn so much by what they're looking for, the suggestions. Now, when an editor says something, and especially if they want you to change something in a certain way, it doesn't mean you have to do it. It means that whatever they marked stopped them in their reading. And so there's a speed bump there and it needs to be fixed, but it doesn't need to be fixed the way they said it needs to be fixed. Just, you want to make it smooth and you don't want to take your reader out of the story. That's the most important thing. Miracle lights up like a Christmas tree. Yep. But then you have something to work on, right? You can learn a lot from a good editor. That's not to say they're all good, but for the most part, they are. Sometimes you'll get an editor that's out of their genre, or there's something about the book that puts them off, and they're more complaining about the content of the book rather than the writing. And it's not that the story's bad. It's just that it's something that they don't like, they don't agree with. You could hit a trigger for them. So that can happen.
Like they say, find an editor that also fits your style too.
If you're publishing trad, you don't have a choice. Sometimes you get stuck with one. And that's
another one
that's
for
an unfortunate
work.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I
Absolutely agree.
at this stage of the game, there are very few cases where I would recommend people go with trad publishing. But some people have that as their dream. They want to be traditionally published. And if that's your dream, go for it. Just be aware there's a lot of downsides. There's some upsides. You don't have to worry about your cover copy and your cover and your blurb and all that.
I've got quite a few author friends who started with trad publishing and shifted away and are now self-published.
Yeah.
The creative control that is taken from you with trad publishing
Right.
is enormous.
It is. It really is. It's gotten a little bit better back when I was trad publishing. That was back in the 80s, and there was all sorts of restrictions, but not almost every. I still have some friends that are strictly trad, but their publisher's been treating them right. And some have changed publishing houses, but most of them are hybrid. Just because. Oh, is that Marigold said upset you killed the main character's brother? Oh, so you killed him twice in a time frame. Yeah, back when I was writing, especially I was writing romantic suspense, and the villain could not be a family member. You just couldn't. And I had one romantic suspense that I'm sure fooled a lot of readers because nobody could figure out who the bad guy was from the beginning, because I had 3 different bad guys. I had set up one guy, he was the bad guy. No, he was an uncle. You can't have a relative. And then I was, okay, I'll use this character. And I set him up all the way through. And I can't remember what the problem was there, but no, he couldn't be the villain either. So by the time I got through with that book, it had 3 villains. So what other problems were we running up against? What I do was, it was in one of the meetings. Was it the community hangout where they said Sudowrite was so complicated? But it's not the most complicated. Believe me, it's not.
That was totally-
I don't think. No, it was. I don't think it was you. I don't know.
It has become a lot more complicated than it used to.
Oh, it did. When it started out, it was right. And it keeps getting more that way. Do we want to look at the new stuff?
I would really love to. I don't know about anybody else, but I would.
Okay. Nobody has any burning issues with the current stuff.
We got another agreement to look at it.
We're in a tricky spot right now because we're teaching the current characters but it's going to change so soon. But we don't know what's going to happen.
We all got a bite of the cake earlier.
That's right. And it's really hard to teach because if we're showing stuff that everybody doesn't have access to yet, that's not helpful. But if we skip it, then people are surprised when the new things roll out.
Mr. Bill, are you in the beta, the character beta?
I've asked 5 times, but no.
Oh,
You're supposed to be since you're in book in a month. I'll message you on Discord.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Actually, can you message me? 'Cause I'm not sure if I have your right name on Discord.
I'll try.
Thank you.
you mean you're not connected with Little Ray of Sunshine?
That's just what people call me, of course.
Apparently, except for his wife, who just calls him the source of all our problems.
It's out of town right now.
Ah, I see. No, I'm never mind.
Now I've just
I'll
got
show
some-
mine, but I don't have any characters filled out. We can fill out some tonight. I know Nicole has used it, so she has the characters. I think Stacey does too. And some of you. I have my old-fashioned characters. And I am in the test platform. Oh, while we sit and look at the hourglass. Oh, it's jumping around. Okay. So if we want to add a character, we have the pronouns for the characters. And I think I should stick something up here with I've got it stored in my thing. Let me put I grabbed some of our characters we've been working on all week. Oh, something really slowed us down here. I wonder if they're making some changes. We'll do Lily. And for the name, we want Lily Evergarden. And we don't have a group. I don't think we have any other name. We didn't come up with a physical description for her, apparently. But we could. What does Lily look like? No ideas?
I'm not giving you my Lily's description.
Oh,
Let's make her
Curly brown hair, hazel eyes.
I was all going to be completely opposite direction. Let's make her like Christina, platinum pixie haircut.
did
I
you say
didn't like
long
that.
brown hair?
I said curly, but any brown hair.
Okay, let's see. Pixie cat. Brown hair.
Ryan says she needs to be short.
Yeah.
Good. I lost the chat when I did that.
Actually, don't know if he meant the hair or the height.
Oh, I know. I meant height level, short.
Short
That's
people rock.
discomfort.
I'm tall, but yeah, short people rock.
Oh. I'm short.
Oh,
They call us fun size.
yeah. What you have to type in there.
Yeah, see if that
Okay.
works.
What about her eyes?
Hazel.
We're not going to have piercing hazel eyes.
No.
Okay. Her dialogue style. Let's see. I just got, and one thing that Ryan told me is that it doesn't really matter which box you put these in. Jenny, who is responsible for making them all pull from what she thinks is important, says try it and see whether that matters or not. But Ryan seemed to think that if we have an overflow or something, we can stick it in any box, like the genre style kind of thing. Let's
And
see.
you can fit a huge amount of words inside each box, too.
Oh, yeah. Is there a limit? I don't think there is.
You That was
If
more
there is, I haven't found it yet.
that that's the one we were challenged to meet the limit.
I've taken that challenge to heart. My
I was gonna
character
say they
cards
know
are
better than to
thick.
challenge us for that, right?
Yeah, when Ryan was demonstrating, he says, I challenge anybody to meet the limits. They've kept that
Uh,
on the download there. Might need to edit this out of the portion out of the video.
Yeah, really. Just remember that the input is going to cost you credit. So the more you have filled out, the more it might cost you. They're doing some things on the back end of Sudowrite so that they don't send everything to the LLM. But the more you have in there, of course, the more you're probably going to send over to the LLM. This box is not labeled, which is unusual, is what kind of character is it? She's our protagonist, but we have antagonist, supporting character, minor character, love interest. And they were going to fix it so we could make up things. Let's see if I do the 3. No, I don't want to delete the character. Honest, I don't.
If you want to change that, just click your down arrow, go into the blank and type it.
Yeah, I was about to say just type it in there.
Okay, wait a minute. Oops.
Just click in there and type.
Click where it already says protagonist in the box itself.
Yeah, mother dropped. There you go. Type, and then when you press enter, it will show up.
Yeah, okay. Except I can't spell.
Yeah, that's Hawaiian. That's a Hawaiian.
I can't spell. There we go. And this one, she is a protagonist. Why doesn't the delete go away?
Click the 3 dots again.
Yeah, that's
thank you.
some kind of little bug. It does it on all of the 3 dots. You've got to click it
good.
again to make the
Interesting.
thing
To
go
make
away.
it go away. Yeah.
Mhm.
Groups is, say you have, Nicole has mafia families. It might be one family or the other. My search and rescue team, I can use team in here. And then these are any other names that character goes by, any nicknames or whatever. You can add a custom field here and put something else.
Career. Yeah, I've got
Okay.
all kinds of stuff.
What did we say she was? ISFJ. And you can keep going and going with anything that you can possibly think of about that character. So it gives you a lot more room to work than the 700 character file. And you can have unlimited characters, they tell me. You'd want to be careful about that because once again, you're going to get into credits and you're going to also allow the LLM to pull in characters that you may not want in at that time. Once again, these are dynamic fields. So once you've introduced your character, you probably want to cut down on your physical description. You want to make sure that you keep your character updated as they go through their character arc.
One thing about this character field too, Miss Lynn, if you're uncomfortable sharing yours or don't have enough, I can always share mine too. And you can
if you want to. Just making it up as I go along.
A good thing about this new character box, we noticed right away, it actually doesn't seem to pull the physical description in very heavily. Whereas before we were always getting her long brown hair, raven black hair, cascade, we noticed right away it wasn't pulled in so heavily.
I will quit sharing and you can share yours because you've got more detail. And I'm sure it would be worthwhile to see more detail.
While we're swapping over, I will say I've got a traits box of species-specific attributes. And that was a mouthful. And because I've got an inhuman hero, and it is, in a very good way, pulling in his physical characteristics when not in his POV. So when it's in the heroine's POV, it's pulling in her noticing his wings or his such. And it's doing a really great job.
That's good.
That'd be great for like werewolf packs and dragons, all kinds of.
Yeah, I'll have
Absolutely.
to really
Any
get
kind of
busy on this.
fantasy, paranormal, sci-fi. Absolutely.
So I'll show too my recent activity. Can't see it yet. Oh, here it is. So the one where it says unknown 25,000, that was from me generating the cast here. And I just went through and it was 6 main characters.
Ah.
So not bad, considering all of the boxes you can see each character has.
That's a lot.
What you can do is whenever you have the characters here, you click this customize button. Like if you know you want certain traits, you're going to have those default ones Miss Lynn showed y'all to start off with. And then you just scroll, you click the add, type in the fields that you want, and then so you can save your default template. So now I've already saved, this is my default template now, instead of the just regular 4, I think it was Miss Lynn that showed up for you.
Mhm. Yeah, the
So
personality, the background, the physical description, and the dialogue.
my generate cast button is gone since I've already generated the cast. Let me hop over here real quick just to show you what it looks like.
We could have done that on this since we hadn't generated the cast.
On my generate cast in here. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Anyways, click that customize button right here. Add all the fields that you want. Save new defaults for your template. And of course, you can come back in here to add, remove, whatever y'all need to do. Now, let's say I generated a couple of characters, which I actually did in this case. And I wanted to, I forgot to add a field, or, I think this would be neat. I can add in another field, click to add to current characters. And that will pop up the box right here now. So I can just fill this in for all of my characters. So now I don't have to worry about that, having added that field, but now it's not showing up for characters I already generated. I just need to fill it in manually. So if it's here and you click to generate cast or generate character, the AI will fill it in for y'all like it did with synopsis. So it'll fill in all of those fields that you put into your template. Something we learned too is your field titles right here can actually be like instructions. Y'all can see right here, describe their dialogue, speaking style. I'm telling it what to do. I'm telling it to give me a sample line of dialogue.
So you're saying it actually reads the trait can read the traits as instructions on how to fill it out?
Correct. Yes, sir. Now, I'm not sure. It's not a big limit right here. I want to say somebody tested it and it was like 30 words you could put for the title, essentially, for instructions. But yeah, so you see right here, this was the newest one I just added because I wanted to do some intelligence levels. So yeah, it'll read these like instructions. I'll show y'all one of the things. So I always like to do habits, quirks, and mannerisms. I'm telling y'all right now, most of y'all know this if y'all generated this before with characters. The females tend to have the same couple of things, twirling their hair, biting their lip. The men tap their foot or pace. I did ask them to see if there's some additional prompting we can do to vary that a little bit. But so it's not perfect for everything, but for the most part, it does a really good job.
How does it?
I've got it on a sticky note. Oh, sorry, sunshine.
Let's see.
I'm going to say that. No, we had sunshine.
How does it deal with what if the character? What if it's a spicy story and the character is, just really enjoys physical pleasures?
Kinks.
So when people actually have kinks and bedroom type stuff here in the field.
Okay. So we will deal with that stuff and not censor it out.
Correct. Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay, cool. Good.
And
Not
like
that we never write about that, but
yes.
I would.
Yeah. Like Miss Liz said, I could actually take all of this stuff and all these boxes and just plop it into one. But of course, I want to be able to find a box to change it as I need to for the story and everything.
Looks like Dawn has a my ping.
Yes, I do have a question.
Oh.
Nicole, why did it not fill in automatically on your last category, fill in a list of character traits?
Okay, because I added this one after I generated the cast. And this is another thing. If y'all get into the beta, we're still doing beta, people are going to say, I wish it did this. Trust me, they already have a very extensive list of future updates. This is one of them. So my character was already generated when I added this field. As of right now, there's no way for me to click here and say, generate this field. That is something they know we want, and it is on the list for the future.
Oh, good. Okay.
But as of right now, if you added field after, you have to manually do it and everything. And I
Gotcha.
actually did quick chat Let me come up here. And that's what I got right here from Quick Chat to fill those in. Oh,
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You go to Quick Chat and generate and then cut and paste.
right here, you see two options, right? Add blank character, generate character. Let me close these out so I don't have to scroll. Oops. So I don't have to scroll a lot. These aren't perfect yet. My characters' last names are actually wrong. But so I have 6 characters. If I click add blank character, it's going to pop up with my default template blank, just like it says. So now I have all of those fields right here that I can fill in. And then if I click generate character, close my chat box here. Okay, so if I click generate character, I can just click go right here and it's going to generate a character. Or I can put some instructions right here. So I'm going to tell it,
As a side note, while she's talking, because we're in such a helpful mood right now, you can put a lot in that instructions box.
yes, thank you. We actually asked this the other day too. And Jenny confirmed they didn't know the exact limit, but Ryan was just typing away. I'm trying to think. Okay, secondary character. So you can do whatever you want. I didn't try my 10 minor characters. Ryan said I could. So I'm going to have to try that out. Generating, see if it'll let me generate 10 at once or if I have to actually do one minor character at a time. And you'll see down here, I forgot this was a recent added addition before we had to scroll all the way back up to click the buttons again. And now I can just stay down here. So add blank character is going to give me that blank default template right there. Generate character, it's looking through and going to generate something. Again, it's not perfect yet. That's why we're still in beta, testing things out. And they're tweaking. And if there's no more questions on characters after this, I'll switch over to the world building real quick.
John Z has a question about, he's asking me, but a template for pulling in the characters. And I have what I gave you the other night, as I usually say, add the Myers-Briggs and the strengths and weaknesses. And if you look at Nicole's, she has strengths and weaknesses as a box in her template, as well as I think she uses enneagrams rather than
This
rather
is
than
actually,
Myers-Briggs.
so this is actually, if y'all have my workflows and prompts thing, this is the right one, yeah. So this is actually, I just took that prompt that y'all used to see me always put inside synopsis to generate characters that way. I just broke that down for my fields. That's it. And again, I just did this in that customize box. Go to that customize, added in all those fields that I wanted and saved it.
Hey, Nicole, what was that document, that workflows document of yours? Where can we get that? Yeah. Oh,
Can you-
excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, duplicate the project and generate with the new fields. Okay, so right now, I think this is what you're asking me. Right now, this is something I mentioned the other day. We can't copy a character. So as we were talking, I think it was before everybody hopped on, we were talking about series. So this is my series. This is my series overview. What I'm planning on doing is, whether it's in my overview or book one, it'll probably just be in my book one. No sense to do it in the overview. Generate my characters like you're seeing here. Once I have all of their descriptions good, I will probably just duplicate my project then, because we don't have a copy button. So I can't say, I want to copy Lily's and go to a new project. And we know for writing a series, we really want the character ending descriptions. But if I wait until I'm done with this book, I'm going to have all those additional documents right here. When I duplicate, I'll have to delete a whole bunch or whatever. So we were talking about this, spitballing ideas. I think what I'm going to do is, after I'm happy with all the character descriptions, duplicate this project. It'll become my book 2. And then I'll just need to adjust, but at least I'll have a lot of it filled in already.
Yeah, starting point.
Yeah, I won't have to generate a lot of characters. Some of these die. I'll just got to delete those characters and do whatever character art adjustments, really. Did that answer your question, Dominia? And it does pretty well. The sample line of dialogue, it's been very just average, but Quick Chat is doing a pretty good job. So I haven't been liking what gets automatically generated here for my sample line. But if I go into Quick Chat and say, hey, give me 3 options for sample lines of dialogue for this character that shows their personality or something along those lines for the prompt, it'll give me something. Typically, I don't like what it comes back with first, and I'll say, no, give me something that's, whatever I'm looking for, more intelligent, harsher, whatever. And typically that second time it comes back, it almost nails it. So play with Quick Chat too. Any questions on character? And player, God, there's so many things you can do. People have been putting like a secrets box. I've heard it's not 100% for keeping secrets, but it is helping. Before we got the world building, we were playing around with, could it be, we were using settings. Matter of fact, if I go to, that's in a different one. If I go to my Jack the Ripper, real quick. Played around with doing settings here. I did a Whitechapel because we didn't have the world building yet for settings. Putting stuff there. So y'all can see how versatile the fields are. Then I was doing murders. That's all the things that we were thinking of y'all can use for this. Which reminds me, I actually have a template just to give ideas. Where is it? Miss Lynn, tell me if you want me to shut up so you can.
No, I want you to keep going.
So this template that I'm linking right here, you are free to use. This isn't perfect. Y'all need to go through and adjust it. But I just worked with chat, and these are actually some that I already had. But I worked with chat on most of these, and just got ideas, some setting template ideas. So go through and see which these you want to add to your thing. Again, it was just something to try to give people ideas. So have fun with them.
To add on to what you can do with the character cards, as a way to, or at least try to implement the timeline feature that they showed us in the last, what was that?
Community hangout? No, the last
Yes.
feedback thing, or
Was it?
I don't remember.
Was
One
it?
of those.
Whichever. You know what I'm talking about. I have a traits box in each of my character cards for key details, which is how that character is in this chapter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how well it pulls in, but it's a up-to-date per chapter or per scene little miniature growth arc.
Yeah. I added today, and I was excited to test out. I did where is it? I think I put it at the top because I want to be able to grab it easily. So character's current emotional state, because that's something I always focused on in the old character box, just a sentence, current goal and motivation and all that. So is that kind of what you're looking at? Right?
Exactly the same. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've just got mine all lumped into one called key details, but same thing.
For those who write murder mysteries, we were talking, again, this was in the character box, but the world building is essentially the same. For either one, characters or world building, y'all can do like a suspect list. People were playing around with doing suspect lists, items that get passed from one character to another. So you see all kinds of things here for the world building. And they did put a video up on their YouTube channel if you want to check that out. So here are my custom settings or custom templates for world building. So just like in the character box, go to customize. What do you want to customize? Do you want to customize your magic system? Here's the default stuff. And then I can start adding in whatever fields I want or changing these up, save the defaults. And then I have my own magic system template. But I just did the town and setting ones for now. How much have you played with this one, Stacy? The world building one?
Probably way too much of my time today. Is that the right answer?
They're fun. Once you realize all the things you can do, and
Oh my gosh, it's so fun.
Dominia, I'm not
Oh,
sure what you're asking. So you can, where it says population demographics right here, so you can put instructions essentially telling the AI, generate this, thinking about this. Is that what you're asking as far as instructional headers? Okay. It's not very big. I want to say somebody tested it and it was 30 words. Be aware there is a limit on that, but if you saw that character one that I had asking for the
That looks pretty
intelligence,
big.
yeah. I think it was 27 words when I counted it because I want to see if it would fit. So you see how this right here.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I think I have.
Oh.
Oh yeah, 26
And
words.
dashes might work there too.
That's true. Yep.
oh gosh, John's dashes.
Yes. Don's a great dash user too, I think.
Oh yeah, pro dash user. I will say for the world building boxes, I had it generate a setting from the pros itself and just put in the hero's house. And it pulled it in beautifully. It did a great job.
Nice. Oh, I'm in the wrong one. I was going to show my. Yeah, I was playing around with it as soon as it was released, but I didn't dive into it too much. I think I need to tweak things. I wasn't too happy with how it came out. I did guided for this one. Because again, I can generate the entry and put some instructions right here. And I was having it generate my fictional town. And my fictional town is based on a real town. So that's what I put in there. Generate this town based off this. And I think it actually brought that into somewhere in here. Maybe not. It might have been somewhere else. It might have been the one I deleted. But like it resembling such and such town. But oh no, you're not supposed to say that. Not bad. Lots of potential here. I just need to play
Was
around.
the setting, sorry,
Good.
was the setting you generated present in the chapter that it was linked to? I don't know. That matters, but
It wasn't. I didn't have
maybe
any.
that's something because the setting I generated was present in the chapter that I was in when I scrolled down to world building.
Yeah, I didn't. I know that's something they were looking at doing. I just dropped into this one because it's one I was finalizing, and I knew this. Actually, I deleted them, but I had the gated community here. That's when I was playing around with it, and that's why I wanted to try it out, see how well it did.
Yeah. Ryan has a question in the chat, and I don't know the answer. Maybe you do. Can the world building entry build details about the world from the characters?
So I don't think it does, but John Cresson was like that. I think that was one of the things he wanted from characters, but also from the pros. Now it is looking at. I would have to actually look back in the Discord. So it's looking, when it generates your cast of characters and things like that, it's looking at your synopsis and brain dump. They did say, let me pull up my phone real quick because I can find it maybe from Jenny the other day because she was talking about what world building looked at.
Well, don't you have the little question mark on the world building?
I don't think it's updated here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, they don't. Okay.
But Jenny made a post. Let's see. So actually, I just asked this today. So just to confirm, Quick Chat looks at the new characters, but not the world building yet.
I've got it in my notes that world building is visible to outline chapter generation and beats generation. But what world building itself looks at to generate, I got nothing for you.
I only remember because I remember her posting it, and then I was actually searching up before I asked that quick chat question and pulled it up. Okay, here we go. Okay, so what did you say? It affects beats and chapter generation, correct?
And outline. Yeah.
No. Okay. Which makes sense. Okay. So essentially the same thing as characters then. Yeah. So world building and characters will essentially affect the same things. Okay, so Jenny says reading through this real quick. Look at add custom traits. Okay, so right now, Sudowrite only looks at your world building cards when generating beats and prose. It also looks at them when generating outline. Right? Quick edit, quick chat. We'll look at them soon. Oh, shoot. So it didn't. So I think it's still just pulling from brain dump, synopsis, and I would think. Let me look here.
World building cards are definitely pulling from prose because I didn't have the hero's house described or mentioned. I didn't have it described anywhere else other than in the chapter itself.
If I'm supposed to go ahead and create Creek Manor, which is my character's home in the setting thing, it should, because I have role in the story, and it was saying this is the home of the protagonist. So it is looking at characters, I believe.
Actually, the idea, because it's like thinking about if you're creating a home and then you have it linked up to some characters, it might, I don't know, create some things that are unique to those specific characters.
Yep. So let's see, Creek Manor. I could have sworn the last one said it was Maverick and Kennedy's home, which it is. So I think it does, but I also have that information in brain dump and synopsis. So that's why I'm bouncing back and forth. Does it look at characters, or is it just seeing that information in my brain dump and synopsis the same as what characters saw when it was generated? I don't know. Good thing to get confirmed.
I will say I would love if it did in the future, if it doesn't already, for the world building cards to look at the character cards when they generate. That would be amazing.
But then I'm also thinking, what would it need to see in the characters that isn't already in the brain dump and synopsis?
Oh, for me, a lot. There's so much in the character cards that wouldn't fit in brain dump or synopsis.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So that would help actually with your magic system. So if you're mentioning this character has fire magic, this one has shadow magic, and uses it this way. So when you're building out your magic system in the world building, yeah, it could pull that information in already.
Mm-hmm. And for me personally, the technology that's only listed in the character cards, if that could pull that into a setting. So mine is a sci-fi romance. So there's aliens on Earth and they brought some tech with them. So the technology that's listed under the species, the alien species as a whole, because I've got that as a character card. If it could bring in the technology listed in there when making a setting, that'd be incredible.
Yeah, we will certainly bring it up to them because this is beta.
Yep.
We do have some exciting things to look forward to.
Yeah, coming soon, I'm hoping, is the larger. I keep begging them either make my synopsis bigger so I can just copy over my brain dump, or let me allow outline to pull from my brain dump.
Oh my gosh, please
more
make
that
the
stuff.
outline box bigger.
Yes.
That's
Yes, yes, yes.
Now they have super plans for outline. Sorry, not to interrupt you, but yeah, they have some. I think Ryan's already jumped the gun and probably has that halfway planned already. He let a little bit leak.
Yes,
He
please.
was getting so excited.
1,700 words is not sufficient
No,
for an outline. Maybe a short story, which I don't
Yeah.
write. No.
Maybe one act.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people do
I
that.
struggle with one act.
But y'all have seen my outline too. I keep mine short now, so I don't have that issue anymore. But I do want my outline to pull all of those details that I load up in brain dump.
Yes, agreed.
I'm most looking forward to my style.
Mhm.
But yeah, whatever they're going to call it. Yeah, where it learns your style.
How did you like
I-
yours, Stacy?
I'm on the struggle bus. It sounds like me. That's not the problem. It very much sounds like me. It's almost a little eerie, but it would be, my gosh, the vast majority of the prose would be usable. The problem is that it appears to be Story Bible blind. So it does that thing where it just adds in a bunch of
no.
stuff that
Yeah.
isn't real because it's trying to fill in blanks. except there are no blanks because my story Bible is thick.
Mhm.
So it changed the heroine's best friend to a boy.
Huh.
Out of nowhere.
Hmm.
It had the hero kidnapping the heroine, and then he threw a grenade at her feet. No, thank you. That is not how we woo a woman. Okay.
Well, I
No.
mean, come on now. Kind of just
No,
down
ma'am.
her world.
I hope she
A
caught it,
live
threw
grenade.
it back at him.
No, she ran.
Oh,
And then just small things. It changes her eye color, and it has them getting out of the car and walking. And then in the next paragraph, they're still in the car. It's just a little chaotic. And it, again, like I said, it appears story Bible blind, but
Well-
it sounds like me.
The other thing that I wish that they could fix, and to me it's really a big deal, but nobody else seems to be upset about it, is the fact that the silos can't refer to each other. And boy, you fix that, now all of a sudden you've really got a game changer. But
Your chapter documents.
yeah, where chapter 2 doesn't read what you just wrote in chapter
Oh,
1.
yes. I would love for that to be a thing. Right
Yep.
now, I'm using John's plugin recap
Uh-huh.
and using that summary as chapter glue, both
Well,
in the
The real problem is we're patching over things and coming up with workarounds for something.
yeah,
that-
we're hacking the system. Mhm.
I'm just going to
Yeah,
try.
and I know it's all a question of the memory of the LLM having enough context and all that. I get all that. I'm just
Yeah, it's still tough.
it is, and one of the things that might fix it is if they could just get it to read back one silo. That would help.
Yeah. Particularly, I don't know what you write, but particularly in romance, where you want there to be a natural, realistic, emotional progression,
Sure.
it's really difficult.
Yeah, I don't write romance because I would not do that to people. But I do write pretty complex, large cast military science fiction. And it would
Absolutely.
really be helpful if it wasn't repeating itself constantly.
And for the AI to know this person was just injured in this battle that just happened.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Agreed. I don't know how they would work that around because the input in so many of the LLMs, I'm still learning the lingo,
Eh,
is
models
restrictive.
works.
Models work.
Because each model of the LLM has a different context window.
See,
That's true. So there you go.
I just got into the habit either work on keeping my character stuff up to date or loading everything into beats. He said, I love messing with the beats.
Mhm.
Just getting it.
I do. I
And
spend a lot of time in Beats.
that's my next one. I want to up my game there. But two, I'm just going to throw it out there. Auto write and guided write. If you use the smart models like Claude and like Anthropic and OpenAI, they can read back 20,000 words. So if you stay right there in the same document,
Yeah. You can do, which I have done when you're really on time crunch. You can use Playground and ChatGPT for Turbo,
Mhm.
and you can produce, if you want to pay for it, 20,000 words without any repeats, sequential, and everything else. But it costs.
Right.
no, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But you can do it right here in Sudowrite, the auto write and guided write. They read
Mhm.
back to 20,000
Well, see,
words.
and again, that's what I'm looking forward to going over is I haven't used it in so long. And doesn't it put out 300 word cards you have to keep?
500 is the max now that you can choose from.
Okay.
And they told me they were going to make that 1,000, but they haven't done it yet.
But too, that's why I also think write is like the perfect flow. It's just for me because I know once I got good at Sudowrite, I told this to Miss Lynn, Marigold, and CC. I missed actually writing. I got so involved with just letting the AI and guiding the AI, letting it do everything, that I missed me writing. And that's
Mhm.
when I really started getting back into using auto write and guided write because I can start writing my scene the way I want to go. click the button whenever I need the AI's help, then go back to writing and just have that nice little flow. And I love it.
Okay.
Mhm.
I may definitely give that a shot. See what happens.
Sunshine, have you tried any of John's Megarite plugins? That might be more of what you're looking for.
Have not. One of the things, it probably would do this well, but that I haven't had time to go back and teach myself how to do is taking the work in progress, putting it, and then to pick up from where I am and that kind of thing. And so I've just got so many things, irons in the fire right now. And it's my fault. Then I'm trying to keep up until I get a break and can start actually learning this in a planned process.
Did
Yeah.
you see that he did a session on how to use the Megarites this week? And that
I
should,
did not, but I'm going to go back and I saw where it was there. I just didn't,
yeah.
but I'm assuming it.
I don't know that if it's in the course videos yet, but it should be soon if it's not.
Okay.
The Megarite
Yeah.
sonnet gave me 26, almost 2,700 words. And I have since learned that sonnet does often go off at about the midpoint and get a little squirrely. But the first half of that, the first 1,400 words were so good. And I think it was only, I don't know. I can't look back because the history is so short. I think it was only 5,000 credits.
Yeah. I don't even know what correct things cost. I've got like 1.6 million right now.
Yeah.
I figure that'll get me somewhere.
It should.
You got money to burn.
Now, John's talking about beats, and sometimes the super detail didn't make the prose any better. Well, it depends on the model, whether the model wants thick beats or thin beats. And I found out this afternoon I was using Opus, and Opus does real well with thin beats. I was surprised. Of course, it's Claude, and Claude likes to make up its own story, so it did pretty much. I said they had a conversation about this, and it would flesh out the whole conversation. So it's totally model dependent. Yes, John recorded his Megarite, and it should show up in the course videos soon.
Yeah, I just
Yep.
double checked and it's not there yet. But Michael, I forgot, Michael's been on vacation. He just came back today.
Oh,
Well,
that's
not
right.
vacation.
Yeah.
I think he was doing the work stuff.
Mhm.
So that'll probably be up sometime next week.
And we need to make sure that John gave him the file, so we'll lag him on that one. Because we all want to see that. Even if you were there, it would probably help to see it again. Yeah, he does batch stuff. So when he uploads the videos, he does a lot of them. We've noticed that. Are there any more questions? Anything else? I hope you got something out of this, and I hope either you're starting to use the new expanded boxes or you're looking forward to using them when they roll them out. And I don't know when they're going to roll them out because it's every time I ask, they always say 3 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 weeks, and it's always 3 weeks.
Hey, Stacy, could I hear you call Mr. Bill Sunshine one more time?
Is he leaving? Goodbye, Mr. Sunshine.
I like that.
I'm loving it. We're going to have to, in the book of the month, I just need you to greet him every time.
Okay.
Hater, Mr. Sunshine. Every time.
I'll have to get some of my friends on because they'll wonder who the hell you're talking.
You mean they
I
won't
like the way you
immediately
change it all
recognize
the
you?
time.
Do what? Thank you, Lynn. I do try. Every book I put out, I write a new biography
Oh, yep.
and change some of the details just because I figure people have already read the old one. Let's make up something new.
You keep us entertained. We appreciate that.
I try.
And I'm going to propose that Nicole and Stacy do a session on the new features. We'll see if we can get that in the
You
works.
said I was supposed to take it easy this month.
Yeah, new phone. Who this?
You've done yours. I have it recorded. We can cut it out.
I do have a question. When does world building become available to everybody? Do we
Yeah,
know?
3 weeks, like Lynn said.
Oh,
I'm kidding. I don't know that it's 3 weeks.
okay.
It will come when characters come.
Got it.
It was just released to the beta testers yesterday, and we've already got some bugs they got to work out. I think this is the last thing they were working on for no, because they still got the timeline feature to come too. So shoot, I don't know.
Timeline. That one I'm pumped about.
Yeah, that looked good.
But I do think we should be able to toggle on the precision. I know they talked about toggles, but
We
maybe an
want
exception could be
toggles.
made. I love toggles.
I think we had enough agreement, enough people that thought it looked cluttered. Because I think that was everybody's issue with the precision, was that the ones that didn't like it, I think that was the issue, is it made it look cluttered. So I think they just thought, okay, yeah, we can do something about that.
Yeah, I was on the opposing team. I liked it. But yes, I think it was fairly well split down the middle of likes and dislikes. So maybe we will get a toggle for an in-chapter timeline view.
Something, yeah.
And for those not in the beta, whenever, keep an eye on the Luma calendar when y'all see that, or the announcements in Discord, when y'all see that there's a feedback session. That's what these have been, the last couple of them. And they've been on their Sudowrite YouTube channel too. They've posted them. But attend those sessions so you can at least see things and ask some questions there for the upcoming stuff.
Yeah, I've got all my cons are out of the way until June. I've got a lot more time for that kind of thing.
Didn't they say anybody who attends a session gets in the beta?
That's what
I do remember hearing that.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like on the Luma, but then they said, I think, give them a week before they added anybody
Oh, okay.
new. So those already.
They at least had names to add to the list.
Yeah. I think you get on a waiting list and then they put a bunch of people in at the same time. But I think there's some dissension in the team about how many people they're going to add when. Now I'm going to heavily edit this section of the recording.
Man, you got a lot of editing to do.
Not really. Oh,
But so yeah, I will hopefully go on. Like I said, I signed up to teach those classes at the end of the month, beginning of next month. So I did have plans to go over setting up Story Bible. So I wanted to go over briefly the characters and world building. So hopefully Stacy can attend that 101 and chime in there too with her good ideas. And then for the 201 and 301, again, depending on how lengthy they end up being, I wanted to go over working inside one silo and in one document. Give
it'll
people
probably take 2 classes to get the.
That's what I was thinking maybe, but then I'm also thinking maybe I can do half the 201 working in a silo and Story Bible, other half working in a document and write, and then the 301 we can focus on other features and refinements and all that. That's what I'm hoping. People love doing the character sheets in first draft. Wanted to show that again. We shall see.
Maybe we need just a separate thing on first draft and guided right.
Yeah, Miracle told me to do a first draft playlist for my YouTube channel, so I was going to do that. Showing the different things.